Greetings, greetings, love or fear here. The Taurus love reading for November 1st through the 15th. Yes, I'm a little bit behind and needed a recoup day. So I'm going to go into Taurus. We'll look first at an overall energy kind of card, what we're looking at. Then do cards for yourself, for your connection, whether it's a person or a situation, could return back to you. Energy is fluid, even though the intention is set for the 1st through the 15th. It may not be your story, or it may be applicable at a different time frame. Masculine, feminine, let me see if I can talk, refers to the energy, not the gender or sex. And let's see, I've covered time, I've covered energy. What else? What am I forgetting, guys? I think that's pretty much it. Love is universal, so it can apply to anything or anyone. So we'll see what comes up for you, Taurus, for November 1st through the 15th. Energies have been pretty shadowy, so take anything in the reading with a grain of salt this time with Mercury in retrograde. It may be a present situation, but definitely take some time to sit with things for action, especially based on the reading. All right, your overall energy. Wow, okay. And connection, overall energy, person or situation. King and Queen. All right, so we're going to look at your love energy, inner, outer, your fear, what is balancing energy, connecting energy. This will be for both yourself and the connection, whatever that may be. And look at the connecting energies between each of those aspects. Just kind of fills in the story and see what's going on. At the end, I will pull an oracle card. I do read from the book. Because certain things may resonate more than other things, so I don't like to interpret and have what is relevant to you in the present, because every situation is different, even amongst a collective. Love. Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. Fear. Outer. And that's it. Thank you. And look at of course, normally it is the King of Pentacles that is your card, but we have the Queen of Pentacles. So I do feel like that is still confirming that this is for you. Connecting between love and inner. It's interesting the tower is in your inner. And fear. Sacred outer. Outer roof. Connecting energy of your connecting situation or person. Energy love. Love energy of the connecting person or situation. Ooh. What is in the inner? Here. Here we can. Taurus, I feel like already that there is a lot going on here. And it may very well be the retrograde that is having a lot of this show up. All right, Taurus. Immediately, what I get from this very first card is fear of exposure, vulnerability of revealing what is for you, your truth, your authentic self. You may have some awareness of who you are, but having others see that is a very uncomfortable place. It is, I feel shame and embarrassment. Perhaps you've had a long history of someone that, or situations where you have been made to feel that no matter what your role, what your position, what your status, no matter what you do, who you are just is something to be ashamed of, something to be embarrassed about, something to try and hide. Yeah, I'm getting a heavy shame energy. But let's take a look. Your inner love energy is the sun. You may have Leo strongly in your chart somewhere, or you could be connecting with a Leo. It may be that this is your desire, what you're seeking, what you're pursuing for yourself. But we'll see. Your inner energy is the Tower. I feel like that you are feeling very broken down, very destroyed. This isn't like a destruction of toxic. It's more like toxic is destroying. Is what that. It's a really unusual way to get the energy off a Tower card. Usually that's something that has to happen in order to build new. I feel like this is more like a tied to this shame where your inner self, your inner truth are slowly being kind of reduced, eaten away, destroyed little by little. Your fear, deception, being deceived, being lied to, being cheated on, being abandoned. Here's Two of Swords, which can be interpreted in multiple ways. I feel like this is all related to personal relationships, maybe family, friends, but it's definitely fed into toxic relationships. Like this has happened several times, and that's where this shame energy is kind of stemming from. And your outer energy is abandonment. So it may be all of this is showing up. Your fear is being expressed. You may be self-sabotaging because of these fears, because of that history, because of the toxicity that has occurred. And the balancing energy. This is normally a rejected offer. I feel like this is more like a rejection of self, of your inner truth. You know, this Ace of Cups, you are turning away from it. And yet there's this desire, this deep desire, probably because of, for happiness, for fulfillment, for joy, for peace, to find your inner abundance. Let's see what the connecting energies are between your love and your inner, which is your Tower. Turning point. Wheel of Fortune, which is another ending card. These are in direct conflict. Your love energy and your inner energy are in direct conflict with each other. It feels like this is the desire, but this is what you feel like is occurring. This is how you're feeling inside. But this is the want. This is the desire. This is the truth of your soul's calling, of your heart's calling. from your inner to your fear. The Emperor, Aries, could be who you're connecting with. I feel like it's more the Emperor energy. I think that's more the indicator of the validation that this is very connected to a history in love relationships. And this is what's, there's been a history of cheating and abandonment and lying and deceit, and it's just breaking you down. And it's in these which would, the Emperor can be a very controlling, dominating energy. And being conjoined with these two, I feel like there's this tendency to put these individuals on a pedestal, which then gives them more power over you than you are having for yourself, toward yourself. It's disempowering you. And there's been a lot of taking advantage of. Between your fear and your outer, wisdom, repose, allowing fulfillment, experience allowing compassion, culmination of a lifetime. This feels like it indicates the longevity of these patterns. That this is kind of a ongoing, long-term. It could be one person, it could be multiple relationships. That part I can't say, but I can see that this is definitely an ongoing occurrence, and there's an allowance of it between your outer and your inner. Groom, don't need it, don't want it, unpleasant, repetitive, feels good when it's over, unavoidable, clean up. Oh, Taurus. The balancing energy is, I feel like it's this card because there's a need to move into, to accept you, to accept yourself instead of basing everything on the external, to move into this space of self-love. And I feel like that's what you want for yourself, so that it can be expressed outward, and this can all stop its pattern. And to accept this self-love is to heal this. I mean, you're a queen in this case, not showing up as a king, but this is very much your energy. You are a queen, but the energy within and the role external are diametrically opposed. I feel like you are trying to manifest outwardly the appearance of happiness and abundance and love, but that's not what is going on internally. It's what you want. You're trying to bring that reality from the external to the internal. But that's not how it works. It's got to go from the internal first to the external. So for your connecting energy, which I do feel like you are currently engaged in this kind of situation, the overall for your person, I do feel like as a person, is a King of Swords, which is very similar to this whole Emperor energy right here. Somebody who is very Selfish is what I'm getting. Somebody's selfish. It's not that you have no gain out of it, but the concern isn't so much you. It's more like when they give to you and it makes you feel good, it is actually for them to feel good. It's not so altruistic, it's more ego-based. And the fact that this is intended to be, so there's not genuineness in the given. They get something out of your acceptance, your approval. It gives them a sense of power and control. You know, and the swords, King of Swords is usually someone who's very fair and balanced. That is not the energy in this card. I have a feline talking at me. Yeah, there's kind of this prideful, gloating look. You know, like, ha ha ha, I'm giving you what you want, which is gratifying my ego. It's not a genuine, I'm giving you your desires. I am sharing with you. No, this is a very domineering kind of energy. So let's go to the cards and see what else in their love energy. Queen of Swords in reverse, which is someone who is very cutthroat. They can be verbally abusive, domineering. Are they actually? You will know better than I will. Please hold. Okay, so Queen of Swords in reverse can be a pretty vile energy. It can also be someone who is validating your fear of lying. You know, keeping things to themselves. And the love energy, it's interesting that this is in the love energy placement. So you may be dealing with somebody who is very emotionally detached, emotionally closed off, someone who is unfortunately a bit on the narcissist side, like they don't have the capacity. So everything comes from the mind. And so when there's an emotional connection of any kind, it doesn't occur in the heart energy. It's all processed in the head. So yeah, that's, ooh, Taurus. In their inner energy, 5 of Cups in reverse. Yeah, I'm totally getting this disconnect from the emotion. Normally, this would be coming out of loss and sorrow. The energy is just emotional disconnect. Not only not recognizing loss when it occurs, but also not recognizing love when it occurs. Ooh. Yeah. Taurus, you may have a genuine narcissist on your hands in this connection. In their fear energy, commitment. You know, they may make a choice, but do they stick to it? There's a fear of picking one thing, and they may be picking one thing, but are they really? Again, this is reflective of your fear of lying, cheating, sneaking. And so externally, it may be that, you know, they've made a commitment to you, but their fear is of commitment, of sticking to one thing and following through. Outer energy. Greed. Fear of loss. So they hold on and hold on and hold on. So even, oh, I don't like this energy, Taurus. This could be somebody that is very, someone abusive. That's manipulative, abusive, narcissist, very, very self-centered Taurus. Hierophant, bouncing energy. That's yours, obviously. Can also be divorce. The way to balance is to get out. Being left in the cold. Followed by, don't need it, don't want it. Will get you to a happier place. Take that with Wheel of Fortune. Which is an end. Tower within. The Emperor. In your fear. I mean, really, the energy here, Taurus, is for you to get out of this connection. Between their love and energy and their inner energy, resources, finances, investments. It may be the only reason with these pentacles here, maybe the only reason that they're actually holding on to this connection is because of joint resources. Or it could be that they're using resources to keep you locked in, to keep you in place. Yeah, that's actually what I feel. Like they are controlling resources with this Queen of Swords, with the inner energy. They're controlling the resources available. So that they do not experience the loss of those resources, including you. I feel like this is a control tactic. Between their inner and fear, new beginnings, desire, sex and procreation, fertility, multiply, a sudden increase. They don't like commitments and they don't want to let you go. Desire, sex, multiply. So the energy here is that there is either an ongoing or frequent series of outside interests, outside influences, affairs, really. Even though Three of Cups doesn't show up, it's a very Three of Cups kind of energy, and not necessarily something stable, just repeated. Between their fear and their outer, happy, harmony, beauty, creative, a gift, art, warmth, contentment, reconciliation, love. Outer energy. If this is correct and this resonates, this is the energy that is being shown to keep this connection in place. It's not, doesn't mean it's genuine, and I don't feel like it's genuine. I don't feel like it may be genuine in the context of as much as they are capable of. Let me put it that way. And what they're capable of is not healthy. And unfortunately, in a lot of toxic and abusive situations, and do not mistake that abuse does not have to show up physically. Creating this energy within someone is still abuse. Whether if you do it with words, or even if you just do it by the way you interact with somebody on a day-to-day basis, say one thing, do another. If it's diminishing, demeaning, even if they say it jokingly, that is all abuse, because it's diminishing your sense of safety and security within yourself. And it may be this very disordered concept of what love looks like, what it is, what it feels like. So their capacity to connect with the energy of love might be, very small, and they're giving you what they have, but normal capacity for love is more like, this, but what they're capable of is this. It doesn't necessarily mean it's intentional, as in, narcissism is a very, very serious, incurable personality disorder. That is a situation that is created early in childhood. So it's if you are dealing with a narcissist or a narcissist type personality, it's not that they are necessarily without some semblance of what they perceive to be love, but it's still very selfishly driven. And it's how the brain ends up being structured. It's a very complex disorder. But back to the reading. Between the outer and inner, the Empress, attraction and attractiveness in ourselves and others, relationship, abundance, pleasure, happiness. There is clearly a recognition that you bring value to this connection, Taurus. You clearly bring value to this connection. But the value that's returned is toxic. Very toxic, very unhealthy for you. And that shows up within yourself here. It shows up in your fear. It shows up in this feeling, and I feel like this is emotionally, you're feeling emotionally and psychologically abandoned. And it's showing up externally. And this is all being fed because somewhere down the line you've been taught to be ashamed of yourself. And the balancing energy is to not be, to work toward that self-love. To recognize you are valuable and you are worthy, to recognize that you do bring value to this connection, and to connect with that and grow it and feed it and get rid of this sense of insufficiency, of shame, of I'm not good enough to reveal who I am, that I should be ashamed of who I am. And this energy is kind of feeding into these beliefs. Taurus, I can't speak to the other person's intentions. I can speak to what shows up in the reading, and what's showing up in the reading, no matter what the connecting bits are, is this person is not healthy. And they are having a very, very strong impact on this cycle of yours which this isn't what you want for yourself. This is what you want for yourself. This is what you really want for yourself. And the universe is saying, end it. This all has to go. I mean, it's repeated twice and it's surrounding the Sun card. So, you know, it kind of goes this way. This all has to go in order to obtain this. And in this is the Emperor, which is this person. And they recognize your value. They recognize that you're worthy. This is supposed to be the ultimate connection. But whatever has gone on with this person, and it may be that maybe there is a very deep soul connection here. But soul connection or not, this has got to end. Yeah, and maybe in the process of this ending, whatever is going on with them that is causing this within you, maybe they'll find a way to heal some of theirs, and you definitely have some healing to do for you. Oh, Taurus. Let's see what advice oracles. I really hope that you find this stuff for yourself. There is not a single cup in here for them. Cups are emotions. Cups are love. It's pentacles and swords. No, I'm sorry. There is one cup card. 5 of Cups reverse, which is, you know, just sort of validating that disconnect with the emotion. So advice card for Taurus, please, in this connection. Advice for Taurus in this connection. This is a shorter read than most, but it's so clear. It came out with the very first card for us. I really hope you find that love within. Wow, these have not been talking lately. I know it was one of the two, but these have longer messages, so it may be that there's message for Taurus in this situation. Message healing guidance for Taurus in this love situation. Collaborative dreaming. All right, so let's see what that's about, Taurus. Collaborative dreaming. And it's pretty obvious what it's about, but let's see what it's got to say. Yeah, okay. Your heart is big enough to dream not only for yourself, but for a new humanity. Imagine a world that is healed with respect, understanding, and with community that fosters life. Even your dreams that relate to you alone will contribute positively to the greater good because that is the nature of your heart. Your heart naturally and intelligently cooperates in the grand scheme of loving creativity, working to heal the hearts of the world. The heart creates a win-win situations that benefit the individual and the collective. This is what you're denying yourself. You're being asked to honor your growing desire to co-create with conscious, like-minded people. Like-minded. This is not like-minded. Your collaborative dreaming is a heart-inspired win-win, bringing mutual enhancement to yourself and others. The heart wants to love and be loved. Working with others creatively is a way to allow the heart to grow. It is a chance for you to learn how to honor yourself and others and to find ways to live and to let live. To get out of this shame. To tap into this more appropriately, this wisdom, this fulfillment, to use your experiences to grow and love you fully. Simply by growing and strengthening your active trust in your heart's guidance. You are asked to bear the rough patches that can happen when you work creatively with others. Ideas might clash. There can be friction, particularly if you have different ways of working. Sometimes big dreams need more fire to ignite them into reality. More fire might require more friction along the creative path. I do not feel like this is a creative cooperation here. It is not meant to be a permanent condition. Just an aspect of the creative process from which you can learn something useful if you wish. Your guidance is to embrace any experience of friction or tension within yourself or as you work with another with compassion, detachment, and tolerance. Creative endeavors, particularly involving groups, can bring up unresolved issues about being valued, heard, or capable. They can also trigger disputes about taking responsibility or inflame insecurities about being cast into unfamiliar roles of leadership or having to follow. This might happen for you, for others, or for all involved. The stronger the creative energy that flows, the more likely that triggering will take place, which may be what this connection is about, is to trigger. That doesn't mean it's supposed to be fixed and permanent. It's to trigger these insecurities and these doubts and these fears so that they can come forward and be healed. And then move into this self-love. It is the nature of creative energy to move in all directions. It doesn't just want to grow one project. Everything that comes into contact with it will grow. That means that the art and the artist are in the process of creation. This can be smooth, but is more likely to be rough sailing, at least at times. This is not a sign that something isn't working. Far from it. It is more usually a sign that growth is happening and you are feeling growing pains. This oracle is guiding you to stay in your integrity, your highest truth, your inner truth. Honor what you feel and remember why you chose to open up to a group endeavor in the first place. I do not feel like this example of group endeavor really, but we do have a connection that is triggering everything being talked about. So, you know, the specifics of the situation aren't accurate, but what is coming of this connection is, if that makes sense. Especially if the group involvement becomes complex or challenging. Call on unconditional love each day and evening. It only takes a moment to do. I call on unconditional love. Please help and guide me on this project. Guide you in this situation. You're going through this experience or will be in the near future because you are part of a new creative learning program for humanity. This learning program is taking place at a spiritual level and it requires highly individualistic and creative people to learn to work with each other without compromising who they are. Without compromising who you are. That's your lesson here. Stop compromising who you are. Because this ain't it. That is. Sorry. Not really. It is wonderful, important, and challenging creative and spiritual work. You need a strong sense of self, which you do not, this collective does not have, to be able to engage in the process and not lose your voice during the journey. You need a strong enough sense of self to be flexible and know when to bend rather than break. You have to intuit what is going to be a good heart-inspired sacrifice, a good heart-inspired sacrifice for the greater good, and when you will need to stay true to your own voice for the greater good. Only the heart can guide you on these matters, and others may not always agree with your instincts and vice versa. That is part of the challenge of staying present so that the friction created can be channeled into creative energy rather than lost in emotional turmoil. Well, this isn't just emotional turmoil, this is worse. But getting that connection with yourself. Please remember that what really matters is that you hear your own voice. Others may not be able to receive it. When you hear your own voice, you will be able to connect with your heart truths. When you hear your own voice, you will be able to connect to your heart truths. Not everyone will be willing to receive it. Your person over here. You will know when it is right to remain in a group or when you need to withdraw in order to work with others who resonate at a more appropriate vibration and perhaps more in harmony with your own. to withdraw. To abandon or be abandoned, either way. Not every collaboration will be long-term. Hint. Sometimes the learning will be short, sharp, and possibly even painful before it turns into the wisdom that is gained from experience. Hello, wisdom, experience. I mean, wisdom, experience. They're actually on the card. At other times, the journey will be more loving, supportive, and harmonious. This is neither better nor worse, just different. Well, we'll agree to disagree on that one in this case. This oracle comes with a particular guidance for you at this phase of your life path and creative journey. You are no longer to think of yourself as the lone wolf. Yes, you have your unique path to tread, but you now have tasks to accomplish for your own growth and the greater good that requires more than a one-man band. And you know what? When we are in a situation like this is not the energy to be in. This is the time to reach out. This is the time to reach out and get your support group together. This may not be a creative project in a making art kind of way. This is a creative project to get you back to you and out of this. You will still have to do your own work, of course. However, others are on the way to help you. There is only so much a single drop of water can do on its own, though it is precious. Those drops can become a wave and make a considerable impact in the world. You are part of a wave of loving consciousness, and you are meant to be exploring collaborative dreams, healing relationships, not destructive, not deceptive, not those that cause self-abandonment or fear of abandonment or any of that. I mean, this is a lot of fear, and whatever it is, whether it doesn't even matter if this is a belief in your head and none of this is true. The point still is somehow this connection is contributing to this. And if it is something that I would like to say, if it's something where they aren't actually like this and whatever, and if you have this shame, this is going to be your belief, and this is what you are going to manifest. This is what you are going to create, because there's a belief that that's what you deserve. So there's a lot of healing for you to do, and it's time for this to go both internally and externally. You see how these pair? Your internal tower and this external connection. So the advice is, don't need it. Time to go. Time to grow. Some connections will be short-lived and perhaps involve some learning experiences that you are hopeful of never needing to repeat. Others will be long-term loves. Either way, you will emerge more of yourself and more in connection with the world that wants your ideas, presence, energy, and linings. This oracle brings a message to those of you that are involved in a group and are struggling over whether to continue or let it go and move on. You are asked to trust your heart. and not allow any group to become more powerful than the wisdom of your own heart. Always allow this sacred rebel within you to question authority. Your authority figure here, situation, is this Emperor. Is it loving and wise authority, or is it coming from a place of fear-based control? Hello, fear-based control. Queen of Swords in reverse, look it up. Lack of connection with emotion. Not willing to actually commit. Control. I mean, the physical positioning, the sword, the look on his face, this is nothing but control. And using fear, threat, in some way to maintain that control. And probably emotional manipulation, unfortunately. Look into your heart's wisdom to discern whether your involvement in a group is healthy or not. Sometimes a group can only receive so much of our energy before it's time to move on. Sometimes a group is not receiving us at all, but we feel that we are meant to be a guiding hand in it for a period of time before our heart urges us to let go. Ask for guidance, do the healing process, and trust in the feelings that come clear to you over time. You will know what to do, and you must always trust your own voice above any other. For those that this resonates with, Taurus, this isn't just spiritual guidance. This is bigger. This is your actual day-to-day life experience. Whatever it is you need to do for those that this does resonate with, do as the Oracle card suggests. Go within, connect with yourself. Stop denying your own voice. Connect with that love of you that is innate within, even if we have a hard time struggling because we don't feel like we're worthy. And seriously listen to it, because it will tell you the truth for your specific situation. And if nothing else, this is a serious need for, if this is a marriage especially, which with the Hierophant here would indicate it is, you know, rabbits, resources, all the indications here that this is a marriage. This needs serious counseling. If you are going to try to stay in this connection, because this is not healthy. So, do what you need to do for you, Taurus, to heal. You know, to get out of, pick up Brene Brown's book. She deals a lot with toxic shame. And hopefully, Taurus, even if this extreme that's showing up is Mercury related, it does not belie the underlying. You know, it may not always be this bad. And it doesn't matter if it's not always this bad. It's still that bad. So for those that this is true for, and nobody can force you to change what you're doing, to leave this connection. There's a lot of complex factors that go into staying in such a situation. And these are the hardest readings to bring forth. But I hope you find your way out, whether it's while in this connection or exiting. I hope you find your way out of this inner issue, this inner toxic shame, and not allowing, because it's there for you, that happiness and abundance and bliss, it's there for you, but you can't get to it in that energy. So this resonates, let me know. If anybody needs resources, I'm happy to help in whatever way I can. And it is still a choice. It's a hard choice. It's a complex choice to get out of abusive relationships. It is not necessarily showing up that this is a volatile abusive. It's more overt than covert, or other way, covert than overt, more emotional, psychological, and abuse is abuse. So, yeah, I really hope anyone in this situation chooses themselves over this, but again, it's a very complex situation. So to you, Taurus, this does resonate with, especially blessings and unconditional love.